Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another edition of StarSound Speaks. This is your host, Irlianna Samsara of StarSound Astrology, StarSoundAstrology.com. So, yay, happy full moon in Virgo. So we're going to talk about that today. But before I get started with that, I have to say that, man, I don't know about you, but all these planets in Pisces, the sun and Jupiter and Neptune, and especially Mercury, my thinking process is just, it's like wading through water. I almost feel like I'm in this weird, hold on a second.
Hi. Hi. I'm sorry to bother you, Miss Samsara.
Yeah, hi.
I heard that you are an astrologer.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. My name is Myrtle Schmergle.
Myrtle Schmergle?
Myrtle Schmergle.
Oh,
And I
okay.
heard that you're.
I don't know you.
No, you don't. But I heard that you were a wonderful astrologer, and I'm really in need of some advice now.
Oh, okay.
I really need a job. Is this a good time to look for a job?
Oh, actually, yes. Sorry. I would say
What's going on here?
I'm doing a podcast, and
a podcast.
Yeah, so I'm on YouTube, and I do these weekly.
Is this live?
Yeah, well,
Oh my God. How do you like my lipstick? I just bought some new lipstick. It looks nice.
Yeah, no, you look
hello
fabulous.
Everyone. I'm sorry to interrupt your podcast, but I really need some advice. Should I go look for? Is this a good time to go look for a job?
Yeah, actually, I would say right now, I would wait about a few days, but things are gonna really pick up after the well, that's very technical, but I would just say wait till for sure you'll have some breakthroughs after Saturday, but after March 28th is all systems go. And I'll tell you, like I was telling everyone on the podcast, this month, next month, go for it. All the planets are direct. So
that sounds so exciting.
It's very exciting.
So I'll wait.
Yes.
I'll wait a week or two, and then I'll just go for it.
Yes, I would think that. And what kind of job are you looking for?
I'm just something fun where I get paid for what I'm worth. I've been trying for a year and a half. Please, somebody give me a job.
Okay.
But I don't want to take any more of your time. But thank you for the advice.
Sure.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. And if you have
lipstick.
If you have your birth time, I'd be happy to give you your reading.
That sounds wonderful. That sounds wonderful. I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, it's okay.
Bye-bye.
Okay, well, bye, Myrtle. Okay, so like I was saying, Mercury and Pisces, expect the unexpected. Visitors from God knows where. Okay, so I was just telling you how timing that Mercury, Mercury and Pisces is like, I feel like I'm in, that scene in The Wizard of Oz when Dorothy gets sucked into the cyclone and she's swirling and the house is swirling by, and then her dog and the cow and everything is like, but it feels slow-mo, like.
I'm sorry to interrupt. I have another question.
Oh,
is this
sure.
a good time to look for a boyfriend?
Oh, a boyfriend. Well, actually, no, I would wait. It's a little rough right now with Venus. Venus is like enclosed by like two bullies, right? So it's not it would be tough. I would wait about another couple of weeks.
Okay.
For that. Yeah.
I'll focus on the job.
Yes.
Thank you.
Work and love.
Samsara.
Oh, you're welcome, Myrtle.
Bye-bye.
Oh, bye-bye. Oh, okay. Just going with the flow. Mercury and Pisces. So, like I said, it's like you feel like you're in another world. I mean, who is this Myrtle showing up? There's this whole other world happening. What's real? What's not? I'll let you decide. So anyway, moving right along. I was just saying how it feels like everybody's waiting. Like I feel like I'm walking through water. So it's not the Dorothy and Oz cyclone fast. It's just slow. It's Pisces, but it's definitely from another world. Like we see, Dorothy's cow, and Miss Gulch on her bicycle in that whirlwind scene. And it's like just everything is just out there, like weird, you know, so, but anyway, great though for creativity and inspiration. And I mean, here I don't know, is she my neighbor? I'm gonna find out, so we all need a little, with the full moon in Virgo, I have to say, yeah, we might be a little bit nitpicky, you think, when the moon's in Virgo, we pay attention to detail, and but that can be good, but it can also be a little bit too much. I think too that on a just trying to concentrate here. Anyway, no, I was saying about with the moon in Virgo, of course, the full moon is the culmination of the new moon. So the seeds planted, Piscean seeds planted 2 weeks ago, are coming to fruition. So our dreams and hopes and wishes and dreams being paramount at this time, and love and forgiveness and kindness, all of those juicy things. And the full moon is when all of our work, it bears fruit, and the Virgo being the opposite sign, the full moon is always the opposite sign of the sun, and so the full moon is asking us, okay, where's this check and balance? When you think too about the new moon, full moon, the Pisces Virgo axis is sometimes called like the axis of healing. So when you think about like Gemini and Sag, that's the information axis, right? Writing, publishing, journaling, television, broadcasting, things like that. Well, the Pisces and Virgo are the healing axis. So Virgo rules the colon and health and service, nursing, all things being in service and health in general. And Pisces, with that balance with Neptune, with the Pisces and Virgo, this would be a really good time to attain to look at our emotional health, especially around a full moon, right? Emotions always running high. So our emotional health, maybe how we value ourselves, or is there anything that's coming up for us where we feel like our self-worth, our self-esteem, if we've had any abuse or trauma or things that have happened to us in the past where we can just let it go. I know it sounds very easy, just let it go, but these themes come up for a reason. So if you are feeling that way, this is definitely, give yourself some slack here. We don't want to be hypercritical of ourselves or anyone else or of our healing process. We're just trusting and letting go of that sharp inner parent, how to do it perfectly. It's funny, I was meditating this morning, and I'm just sitting there in the silence, and all of a sudden I have this not a audible voice, but the silent voice said to me, "Prisoner of perfect." And I was like, wait a minute, I thought I worked on that. No, I know I haven't. So it's just how you manage it. It's in my, right? So prisoner of perfect, I have Mercury in Virgo. Oh, so it's an opposition. It's like the last few days I've been not feeling productive and trying not to beat myself up about it. But see, that was that message from spirit. Prisoner of perfect. And I'm like, thank you for reminding me. Okay, yep, I'm letting that one go. I'm prisoner of imperfect. So anyway, what's interesting about this full moon, about healing, the moon is in an exact trine with Pluto in Capricorn. So this would really indicate a very powerful time for detoxing and cleansing, physically, emotionally. For sure, when you think about emotional health and detoxing, especially if you think about Virgo, like tending, like a nurse that's tending to the wounded, that's tending to our health. And Pisces is like this, the ocean of compassion that can wash away any kind of sadness and mercy, and just this ocean of mercy. And so these two polarities, coming into balance and one checking the other, are we kidding ourselves, or are we being too critical? So those are things that I would say, to ask. Here's some ideas, just a few ideas here for reaching out. RX, right? I try to give some RXs. RX, for especially with that moon trining Pluto, it can bring up a lot of deep stuff, certainly karmic family patterns, things that, kind of a little resonance of all that work that we did with Venus going through Pluto, and conjunct Pluto in that Venus retrograde, both emotions regarding, our families, our sense of security, and that trine with Pluto. It's just bringing up and connecting there's an ability to regenerate ourselves and to fully face the deepest fears and regenerate and come out the other side. So that's kind of what this new full moon is indicating. I would say for suggestions for like how to use this energy, because it's peaking tomorrow, Saturday at 3:14 a.m. and it'll still be very prevalent for a good 24 hours. By Sunday, Monday, it starts to wane. But over these few days, for sure, and then, we're still in Pisces season, and we have a very big stellium in Pisces that we're in the Jupiter-Neptune conjunction, and then Venus joins in next month. So that's going to be super, super wow. And I'll be, of course, talking about that in depth, maybe more than one episode, because it is an epic conjunction. But we're getting the feels for this now with all these planets in Pisces right now. So let me show you what the screen looks like. Okay, here we go. Yeah, so here's our full moon at late degrees of Virgo in Virgo, and here's the opposition with the sun. The sun is also conjunct a fixed star called Scheat, S-C-H-E-A-T. That's a tough star. That can be about, witnessing and experiencing a lot of suffering. And, of course, I think about the Ukraine, and so it can be, imprisonment, heavy suicide, murder, imprisonment, heavy subjects. And it can also indicate the ability to be of, where can we be of service to people who are experiencing, not that we personally would necessarily experience that, but being around that archetype. And who are we in terms of being in service to help people who have been dispossessed? Are there any if any of you are being able to assist people, whether it's taking in a refugee from like Ukraine or such, or Afghanistan, as it happened 6 months ago. Gosh, I can't believe it's been 6 months already about that one. So here we are again, so we're constantly being asked to keep our hearts open and to be in service. And that the Virgo moon also calls forth for me, like the humility factor, and being, not just being in service, being in humbly being in service, not looking for credit, just wanting to be part of that flow of divine grace and healing. So anyway, one of the things I would offer to you is perhaps reach out to someone who's if you know of someone, you already know somebody who's been struggling, who reach out in need of healing. This COVID thing is still, raging in Hong Kong, and we certainly have a lot of prayer to continue doing, and our meditations and prayers go with the people in the Ukraine, in any areas like Hong Kong and other places where COVID has been still going on, and very much so affecting everyone on a large scale. So just keep up that compassion, standing up as strong as we can, being there for others, reaching out to someone in healing, especially if if they're struggling with addiction. I would say, with the Pisces season, that can bring up a lot of shadow being escapism, delusion, fantasy, addiction to anything, but certainly substance abuse is pretty loud there. There is the National Suicide Hotline. I'll mention it here if you don't know it. It's 1-800-273-8255. If you know of anyone who is in need, you or anyone else in need of talking to somebody. On July 16th of this year, they're going to start 988. So instead of 911, there's a special suicide assistance line. The hotline, it'll just be easy to remember, 988. But that's not ready yet, but I just put it out there, right? 988, it begins July 16th. So I would say for sure, anybody who's got some toxic patterns that maybe can't seem they can get out from under, reach a hand out, call people, ask, you know, your neighbor, whoever's gone through it, you know, just call on them, check in with them, give them a call, maybe stop by their house, see how they're doing. Yep, you remember thank you notes, writing a little, you know, with Virgo, Mercury ruling this full moon. Maybe you want to just pen a little note to somebody, a little short note, hey, thinking of you, and mail it, you know, or put a sticky note on their door. You know, I think it's like, oh my God, written letters, wow, paper, what a concept, right? You know, just something like that, or just text them, I mean, whatever. But anyway, yeah, just to help remove that any kind of tensions that may come up about toxicity and healing and families and intimacy, that can be really loud these next few days. I would say too, on a physical level, we could also go out and to help us heal and stay connected, go in, hey, the full moon in Virgo, man, go in the forest, hang out, forest bathing, right? That's what they call it. I used to call it walk in the woods, but anyway, grounding yourself. You know, the thing with Pisces is that we can just spin off and not be grounded. So I would say using this time to be very mindful of groundedness. I would say too, you know, addressing, like I was saying earlier about self-esteem and self-worth might come up. So addressing that and giving ourselves lots of space, breathing room for ourselves and others. Any kind of, I would say too, maybe if it's a good check-in to see about, well, certainly our dreams, you know, how all the dreaming big that we talked about, this is a good, you know, Virgo with little checklist. Okay, let's be discerning here. Is that really a reasonable grounded dream, or can we check that one off the list, or do we need to tweak it? So the lack of discernment, you know, if there is a lack of discernment, to address that. I would think too, with the waning moon, that's always a good time. You know, when you think about Virgo and the goddess of the harvest, Virgo, the virgin, the harvest. So pruning, harvesting, you know, things coming to fruition on this full moon, and then the rest of the month is when the moon is waning, and that's when you know, harvest and prune. You know, clutter, like I'd say, clutter in your house. You know, it's, let's say you've been hoarding things, you know, this is a great time to get organized, decluttering, healing, regenerating, all those things, even getting your hair cut, you know, with the waning moon, right? It's just a time to clip, trim and clip. Anyway, okay. And as always, I love mantra and song and singing. So with the, you know, with the Pisces season, it's very rich for singing and poetry and, you know, just letting it all out and being free and opening ourselves to these mystical dimensions. I know I've had some great dreams lately, and I've been journaling them. So you might want to continue doing that, really looking at rereading them and looking at those insights or getting insights. Yeah, that's about all I wanted to say. I certainly think too, with the with this particular full moon in, we've got this, you know, Venus is still in that enclosure until Saturday morning. She gets a little lifeline, a little like a floating lifesaver on a rope. You know, you're swimming and you need a rope, and here comes this lifeline, and she's able to reach out and grab that Uranus. Here it is, that Uranus, it's gonna exactly square Uranus. So it'll give some access here to some different out of the box thinking, unusual kinds of assistance, maybe using a different way of using resources and talents and connection. But that will definitely help. And I know that will definitely help the peace process, because I'm affirming peace process for Ukraine. And of course, part in there for everybody, our prayers up for all the people that are going through this experience there. Last thing I wanted to mention was, you know, I think about with Uranus and Taurus, this is definitely it's rough for the earth. You know, we're seeing, and then next month already zipped by, we're back in eclipse season next month, and we start feeling it around the middle of April. Because the solar eclipse is going to be April 30th, so a little about 5 weeks away. But I don't know if you saw in the news, but Lake Powell in is it Utah? No, Nevada, whatever, where the Glen Canyon Dam it's at a historic low. And you might have seen pictures several months ago where they show it looked like bathtub ring, where there's red rock, and then it's all this, it's lost like 3,000 something feet of loss in I don't know how long, but it's now at a new record low. And you know, what about the hydroelectric and water supply for LA in the Southwest that, you know, it depends on, like Las Vegas, Los Angeles? A lot to think about during this time period. I think maybe with the full moon in Virgo, with Virgo being an earth sign, and, you know, Uranus and Taurus, you know, maybe we might want to think about cleaning up in advance for Earth Day, which is coming up at the end of April. And certainly the first day of spring, this Saturday, the Aries ingress, Sun goes into its exalted state in Aries, 0 Aries. It's definitely highlighting things regarding the oceans and waters and clean, you know, I would think river cleanup or assisting in volunteering in some way like that would be a really useful thing. Cleaning up river efforts. They're doing it with the Ganges. They're doing it in India, which has gotten just completely congested from what I've read about with plastic waste and all. You know, these third world countries. I remember going through Peru. They had mountains of these plastic mountains. They didn't have landfills like us, and they just had these mountains of plastic trash. This is going back years, because they don't, in the third world, they just don't have that infrastructure for recycling technology, and it's just yeah, it's a serious problem. So this is something that's on the radar about being mindful, you know, being mindful of the earth, and talk about healing, heal ourselves, heal the earth. That's one thing that we can do on the external is thinking of charity as remediation. You know, we've got these tough transits with that Venus enclosure. Venus, the planet that wants love and agreement, enclosed by bullies still, you know, and she won't be out of that jail. She won't jump over Saturn until what, March 28th. So we've got about another 11 days of that. So just hang in there and just love as best you can. Love under fire, peace under fire, literally seen in Ukraine, right? Yeah, it's just, it's a lot. It's definitely a lot, but I think just being mindful, being out in the forest, bathing, connecting with nature. I would say too, EFT tapping is really great for healing traumas. I did it when my mother was passing, and it was a godsend. I can't recommend it enough. And when my best friend died of cancer, I also tapped before I got to her bedside on the back, you know, heading to her house. So I can't say enough good things about these regenerative things. And certainly with the healing axis full moon of Pisces and Virgo, it's certainly, it would bode well to, you know, really be mindful of these tools that we have at our disposal to assist us. Just can't say enough good things. So yes, healing axis. One last thing I would say is, you know, this, if you're a Virgo, this is the full moon of your year. So again, you know, healing. And so anything that you started back in late August to late September, this is especially with people with 27, 29 degrees of Virgo, Pisces, Gemini, or Sag would really feel this lunation quite strongly. So, you know, you always have that resonance ping, you know, 6 months later when at the full moon of your year. So what has come to fruition, and, you know, what are we looking at as you guys are, you know, heading into the downward trajectory of that cycle? You know, it's just what have you harvested? It's a good time to look back and check back and say, okay, you know, let's take stock. So, oh, wait, one more thing. I know I keep saying one more thing. Mercury's in Pisces, what can I say? So in honor of my dear friend and sister, Yashodhara, who actually left the earth plane, gosh, it's been 2 years, right before we went into quarantine. My dear friend passed on, but when she was still here in the physical form, she loved making healthy smoothies. So she had this kind of like little smoothie business. It was really sweet. And she made the best smoothies. Oh my God, they were just amazing. But I'm just thinking in terms of doing that detox. So here's some cool ones. I happened to come across these pages. So I want to share these with you. I don't know if you can see that. Let me pull this up for you guys. Living Light, that's what she called it. Living Light smoothie recipe for the liver. That would be a great one, right? Liver with a Jupiter and Pisces, you know, let's clean our liver. Let's see, 5 bananas, 8 dandelion leaves, 3 kale, 2 Swiss chard, 1 lemon, 1 cup of raspberries. And here's one for indigestion. Okay, so you can have fun with those. And wait, there's one more. There's a bunch of them here. So you'll have to freeze frame this video. And see here, Living Light smoothies. I love all these. Easy to find these things at the supermarket. And here's a super immune smoothie. Very good to have that one under your belt. Wheatgrass and kale leaves. You can put the apples in, so it like sweetens up all those kale and dandelion. But bang, you talk about immunity and cleansing. Woo. So that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed this. Have a fabulous full moon and a fabulous spring equinox or fall equinox. If you are the peoples of south of the equator, I wish you all the finest and most beautiful, wonderful happenings. So mwah, thank you all so much for listening. And yeah, we got to meet Myrtle, you know. All right, so you have a great one. And if you need anything, just, you know, just holler. Irlianna at StarSoundAstrology.com. We'd love to work with you, do your chart, whatever you need, just let me know. And any questions, comments, leave them below. I love hearing from you all. And you can always, you know, like, share, subscribe, always helps the algorithm. Yay. Anyway, okay, mwah, love you all. Take care. Have a great one. This is Irlianna Samsara, StarSound Speaks, StarSoundAstrology.com. Thank you all for listening. Bye for now.